And we are back with our lives now on our Jestor channel. It has been a while that we don't record any live sections here, building with Jestor. And the idea here is to show you how to build a CRM without code. We are also going to use AI to create our first version of the app. And then we are going to edit everything with basically drag and drop configurations. You don't need to know how to code or to be a developer to build an app. And since it has been a while that we don't record any of our lives, um, a lot has changed on the software. So you're going to see that the platform has evolved a lot, and we are going to also remind you and show you again a few of the really basic steps as well. So let's start with the CRM. We are going to bring another example next week. It's going to be regarding a new field that we didn't have before. So Jestor has a field called attachment vision. It reads everything on a PDF or an image, and we will automatically create a record or fill out information regarding a specific record. So today it's CRM. So Fernando, how should we start building our CRM today?
Yeah, so basically, the way that we're building things in Jasper now is a little bit different from our previous live streams. So, like you said, we had a lot of updates, especially regarding AI. So, AI is now an easy way to build at least an initial version of an app. So, the idea here is to use AI to make the the main part of the app, and then the idea is that we're going to change the things that we need. So we're going to create more fields, we're going to change some settings on the Kanban board. So the idea is to use AI to get as much done as possible fast, and then we're going to change things as we go. So if you could put my screen.
The
Yeah.
idea here
There
is
you
to do a little bit of no code, but it's what we call vibe building. It's not even vibe coding. We are going to ask the AI to just build the first version, and instead of interacting with the AI until we get the version for that we really want, we are going to just start with something that's fast, and then we are going to make the changes that we wish our app has. And just a reminder that Jaster it's a platform for internal tools for companies. So we are not going to build like an Uber or something. We are going to build CRMs and other tools that you can actually use on a company internally.
Exactly. So the idea here, like we said, it's been a while since we've done any live streams, so a lot of the interface has changed. So the main idea here, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see the things that I'm doing. The idea here is that we're going to ask uh, for the AI to do something. So there are a couple of ways to activate the AI for building new apps. Um, the first one is going to the action bar. So we can click here on the action bar and type in AI, and then we can select Gesture AI, Gesture Builder, and then we can ask for something here. But that's just one way of doing it. I prefer to do it a different way. So what I'm going to do here is to click on this button right here on the upper right corner, and it's going to bring this way of asking for something. And there's a little bit more space, so it's a little bit easier to use. That's why I prefer it. So the idea here is that I'm going to ask for the app that I need. Um, if I can provide some better information for the AI, it's going to give me a better app. So if I just type CRM, it's going to provide it a CRM based on like a general idea of what a CRM should be. But the idea is that if I provide more specific details, it can provide me with a better app. And one reminder that we can use this attachment icon here to upload files. So you can send an image like a flow chart or a spreadsheet, and the AI is going to read this information, and then
Or
it's
even
going
a
to.
screenshot. If you already have a CRM, you want something that looks like just the CRM that you have, you can start with a screenshot. It's going to use the same stages. Probably if it has a Kanban, it's also going to build a Kanban and so on. So it's a way. It's also one of the ways that you can start building is using screenshots. But as Fernando said, you need to describe as much as you can, but not too much, because too much information sometimes give the AI too much space to also create some weird stuff. So describe it with not as much, but not as fewer as not something like just give me a CRM, but also don't input here a book about like with thousands of pages about CRMs and stuff. So just ask the basics that you really want on your first version, or describe the problem that you want to solve, and Jestor Builder will give you the first version, and then we can start working on building stuff with no code.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do here is type in build a CRM app. Um, this app should have a Kanban board with these stages. So new, proposal, won, and lost. And also, I'm going to ask for a dashboard. So you should also have a dashboard with open with an indicator for open opportunities and total sold. And I'm also going to do something. I'm going to explain why navigation should be done through a side menu. I think it's this. Okay. So the reason why I'm asking for this is because the AI could do more than one way of navigating. It could do just a top menu. It could do a bottom menu. I actually prefer the side menu. I'm going to explain why. It's because when you ask for a side menu, some parts of the some components are going to be automatically created, which are very helpful, such as the title bar, which allows me to have a custom filter. So this is why when building apps, I prefer to ask for side menus. The top menu works fine. It's just that here you go, the app is ready, and you can see here on the left is the side menu, right? So the reason why I asked for it is one, because I think it looks nicer. I like to have the side menu, and you can also like hide part of it, so you get this cool menu icon. But also because when you ask for a side menu, this part, this title bar with a button, also comes included. And I think this is very helpful, especially for the CRM, right? So this is the reason why I specifically asked for it. But you can see that the AI did exactly what I asked of it. So I have a main Kanban board for the CRM. There are stages, so I have the new, proposal, won, and lost stages. It also actually it color coded correctly. Like won is green and lost is red. This is something that it's going to do with consistency, which I find quite good. But also, if I go to the dashboard, here's the dashboard, and I can see the number of open opportunities and the number of total opportunities that were won, right? So if I go back here, I have to. Actually, what I wanted was the total amount in cash, but I forgot to ask for it. So the AI understood that I wanted the number of deals won. But no problem. That just give us some opportunity to change a little bit so you guys can see how it works. Okay. But cool. Let's open a record and see what happened here.
One thing that's nice
So
to just show everyone is like now we have SLA per each stage. So as you can see, automatically it created a metric to track what's the average time of each opportunity on each stage. And if you open the card, you want to see that you can also track each record individually or each opportunity for how much time it was on the new proposal and won, lost, and so on stages. Of course, now it just created, so we didn't move any cards or opportunities, but you're going to see that if we start to change stuff, it's going to automatically show how much time or and change the graphics and the charts and everything. As you can see, there are different colors here. We can also customize our app or form, and we can also, one thing that probably Fernando is going to show is here we have four different tools in a panel. It could be three, could be two, could be one. You can choose the tools that you want to actually use. The AI has built everything at once, but you can, if it's too much, you can just reduce and adapt for your team.
cool. So okay, so I'm going to start customizing it. The first thing that I'm going to do is open a card here, an opportunity, a deal, and see what kind of fields the AI has created. So I didn't ask for specific fields, so it kind of just did like the bare bones version of the CRM. So you have like the the name of the opportunity, like the name of the deal. I have the status, which is something that I did ask for, so it created this status with new proposal won and lost. This is kind of like the stage of the opportunity. It's created a field for value that would be better like as amounts, but we can change that later. It's just important that I have the total amount of that opportunity, and the creation date, which actually it used a custom field, which it didn't need to because Jestor has this automatically. We have a date for when a card has been created. I'm going to show you guys how this works. But okay, no problem. I can just delete this field later. It's my fault because I didn't specify enough for the AI. But that I did that on purpose, just so you guys can see that if I don't ask for more fields for a better structure, it's just going to provide me with whatever it thinks it works for that process. So if you wanted more information, you could just ask when creating, and the AI would do that for you.
One
But
thing
I
that's
did
important to highlight here as well is Jester also built the tables and the interface and everything else. So this is an app in production. So it's not like fake data, fake tables or anything, or just the front end. No, no, it's everything. So we are not showing here yet, but it has built a table for the opportunities. I believe a table for clients, and probably it has connected both of them. So we're going to show that how it works also on the table, and we can change the fields as Fernando was showing on the form, but we can also change the fields on the table, which is recommended in my opinion, because you have a better view of everything that you have there, all the data and so on. Because sometimes you are changing something on a form, and maybe you just hide an information, which works as well. But if you just hide a lot of stuff, maybe you have a lot of clutter there as well. So when you have a table, you can just manage data in a more understandable way. And we can add a table to our app if you want to from it's straight from the app, change informations in a table or and so on. Or the table can just be behind your solution that you're building. Because for example here, you're not seeing the table. Also, as you can see on the left, there is a favorite with a folder there. It's just an option, as well as it doesn't have any relation with this app necessarily. But imagine if you have like other apps in your company and you have favorite them, they are going to show there. But you can also remove it. So we are going to do a little bit of everything to show you guys how it works. And Fernando, do you want to do you prefer to work on style on our front end, let's say, of the app, or let's go to the tables, make everything uh, with all the, let's just create all the fields that we need, edit everything that we need, and then we come back to the front end of everything of our app.
Yeah, I was going to do structure first, and then later was going to customize colors and so on. But it's up to
Okay.
you if you think it's better
Let's
to.
go to the table and edit the fields, because once the data is correct, we can do everything at once, changing the visuals of our app and UI, UX kind of stuff.
Cool. Cool. So what I'm going to do here, as Bruno said, you can see that on the side menu, I cannot see the tables, the databases, and I like to have them here because it's better when I want to customize stuff. So what I'm going to do here is go first to the home menu, and then I'm going to go to the folders, and I can see that it created an AI CRM app. So basically, what the AI did is after it built the app, it like arranged it in a neat little folder with everything that it created. So I have the opportunities, which is the Kanban board. I have the dashboard, but I also have the table of the opportunities. So I'm just going to change the name because we have a lot of stuff in this account. So it's a little bit easier to find later. So here you go, opportunities live stream. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the CRM and I'm going to edit the side menu. And you're going to see that in Jestor, you can basically customize anything like navigation, what's on the interface, so you can see everything here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the favorites to the top, and then I'm going to add the opportunities live streams table. I'm also going to create little collapsible folders here. So the part of the apps here, all I have to do is sandwich these things together, and you're going to see here on the menu that I can treat this as a collapsible folder. And I'm going to do the same thing for the tables, or as I like to call them, the databases. And one thing that Bruno mentioned was creating like a table for leads and connecting the information. I didn't ask for it, and the AI didn't do this in this app. So I'm going to do it manually. And that's cool as well because it's an opportunity for you guys to learn how this works. Okay, so you can see here that now I've changed the menu and I have this way more organized here, and I can access the database. And you can see this database, it's the same information from the Kanban board, but in a different type of view. And that's because in Jestor, everything is a database. So if you have a form, if you have a Kanban board, if you have a Gantt chart, if you have indicators, that's all pulling or sending information to databases, to tables. So if you have a process, if you have anything that you have to manage, you need a table with that information. So the app itself, this part is just a view. It's just pulling information from this table, and the AI built the table for us. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this field here of date created, because Jestor already has a standard field for that cannot be changed by the user, so it's a little bit more useful in this scenario. So what I'm going to think here is that I have the name of the opportunity, I have the status, I have the amount, so I'm going to change this to amount. Cool. So I can do some things here, like for example, I can do a percentage field here. So I clicked on this plus icon and it allowed me to create new fields on the database. So this is the way that I prefer to work, right? I like to create the fields on the table because I think it's a little bit quicker. It's faster to do this. I create everything that I need and then I bring this to the Kanban board later. So what I'm going to do here is search for percentage. So this is the percentage field. So this is the probability of closing ability. Yeah, there you go. What I'm going to do here as well is think of the other information that I want. So for example, I may want a user field. So we could have owners of that opportunity. So you can have more than one person working on that deal, on that opportunity. So I'm going to create a multiple users field. So I'm going to create that as well. I'm also going to create a files field, which is called attachments here. So basically, if there's anything relevant to that opportunity, I'm going to upload to this field. We have compression options here. So if you want to upload an image, maybe it doesn't matter if it's in the original size. You don't need like a 4K picture of something. So you have options to compress it. So this is going to make the table a little bit snappier. It's going to be a little bit quicker to upload stuff. But maybe you want the original size because you need quality on the image, so you can keep it as original size. To me, I'm going to compress to 720p. It's already going to be like HD, so it's going to be sufficient for this process. Let me see if I need any more fields here. So one thing that I'm going to do here is create an option field, which is like a drop down menu, right? And it's going to be temperature. So cold, average, and hot. Cool. So we could think of more fields later on. I think that the idea here is to show you guys that there's a lot of different fields that we could use here. So you could have like a totally customized CRM with all the fields that you wanted. But one thing that three more fields that I'm going to create here. I'm just going to do the opportunity here. Is one, I'm going to use a formula field to calculate the probability times the amount. So CRMs traditionally do this. You do the probable amount of sales, which is probability times amount, and then you sum all of this to have some kind of predictability on your performance at the end of the month. So we're going to do this as well. So we're going to do this probable amount. Cool. So we're going to select that the output of the formula is going to be currency in dollars. And the formula is basically going to be the amount times, which is going to be an asterisk, the probability. And I'm going to create this formula. There you go. So it's calculating now. And two more fields that I want to create here is the task field. So it's going to show me a summary of all the tasks that I have for that opportunity. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. I'm going to create this. And I'm also going to create a chat summary as well, because I want to have them at the cover of the Kanban board, right? So before we go back to the Kanban board, we have created all of these fields. So if I click here on new, I'm going to be able to create a card and they're all here, right? And also when I open this card, it's going to be all here as well. This are what we call forms, right? So forms in Jestor are not only public forms, they're this form for inserting information or for updating information from a record, from a Kanban board card, and we can customize them as well. So this is what I'm going to do because it's going to be a little bit more like aesthetic. It's going to look nicer, but also we can rearrange the fields so it's easier to type in the information, to see the information and understand everything that's happening. We're going to make a better use of the space that we have in the card itself, right? So the way we do this, make sure you have the build option toggle, and we're going to click on forms. So creation form is when you create a new record, it's this form. Update form is when you open a record, so it's this form. And chat update form is the form that appears when you're seeing the record through the chat. We're not going to go into detail in this one. We may do so in a different live stream. So for the creation form, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to edit the form. So for the title of the form, I'm just going to type in new opportunity. And for the description, which is kind of like a subtitle, I'm going to do like use this form to create a new opportunity. Cool. We could have a cover and a logo, which are images that appear on the form. This is an internal form, so I don't see the use for it. We may do this in a different live stream as well. So here are the
One nice thing
fields.
you could do in a CRM for that is you could upload the client's logo, for example, if you want, and then it's going to show their the logo on a Kanban, or when you have an open form. So I don't know, Nike was going to be there, and then Nike opportunities kind of stuff. So that's one way to do this, but actually it's nicer to do this in a table for companies, because if you have like three or four Nike opportunities, then you have their pictures like once for the company. You don't need to every opportunity add a picture.
Exactly. So we're not going to do this in this form for the opportunities. We're going to focus on the fields themselves. So the fields are, if I click here, is this information that I'm going to insert here. So I have the opportunity name, okay, and I can rearrange them, right? Status, maybe go all the way down here. Tests and chat doesn't make sense to be here. The formula also doesn't make sense to be here. So I have the name, I have the amount, the probability, the owners and attachments. I'm going to swap them, rearrange this, and the temperature, it's going to be right beneath the owners, and I have the status. Okay, so these are the fields, and also what I can do, if I click here on this pencil icon, I can do things like making one of the fields required. So to create a new record, I have to fill this field with information. But for some different fields, we have some other kinds of settings. So for example, on temperature, I can select to see temperature. I'm just going to open this here so you guys can see. It's this way right now, like a drop-down menu, but I can change this way of seeing things. So what I'm going to do here is horizontal, and you guys are going to understand what's going on here later. And for the status, what I'm going to do is I don't want to be able to create an opportunity as won or as lost. I always want to create an opportunity as new. So what I'm going to do here is select predefined value, go to new, and I'm going to hide the field. So it's when someone tries to create a new opportunity, it's going to go to status equals new, but it's going to be hidden from view, so they won't be able to change the status. And now I have form blocks. So what I'm going to do here to show you guys is that we have things that are not fields of information, of data, but are things that change the appearance or change the features of the form itself. So what I'm going to do here is create a section, which I'm going to call main info. And I'm going to sandwich everything here in this section. And I'm also going to use the inline block, which basically allows me to make it so one data field is right next to the other. And what I'm going to do here is that amount and probability are right next to each other. Okay, cool. Um, so I'm just going to save now, just so you guys can see. And everything's a little bit nicer to see now, right? So I have amount right next to probability, opportunity name is required. I have this title, which is better than what I had before. Temperature, instead of being a drop down menu, I can select this as this horizontal toggle. And one last thing that I'm going to do, just because I'm already here, is that I'm going to add colors to this form, right? So let me go here for the title color. Let me see here. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to go to the spectrum here and change title and button color. So I'm going to save this. And now if I click here on new, yeah, it's a little bit nicer now, right? So if we open the update record, I haven't yet customized this one, so here's the contrast, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for the update form. Here we have some more options, right? So these are the features that I'm going to allow people to use on the update form. So right here on the panel, you can see all the features that people can use when this is open. So I could disable some of them. For example, I could disable connected records, records history, and just select a few of them. So I'm going to save this. And right now, if I open it, you guys can see that I can only select some of the tools, right? So now let's do exactly what I did with the other one. I'm going to edit the form. The title, I'm going to put the name of the opportunity as the title, right? So when I select this, the name of the opportunity is what's going to appear on the header of the form. Cover and logo, I'm not going to use right now. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Tasks and chats.
I would put tasks and chat on the top and with an inline tool because they are both
Cool.
small
So yeah,
and they're kind of indicator of how much work has been done on that opportunity.
cool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the inline tools to make tasks and chat be right next to each other.
And we are spending a lot of time editing the forms because most of the usage of your users, salespeople, and everything will be interacting with forms. And the way that Jestor works, forms are really important uh, because you can change them according to the context. So each stage can show or make it required field and so on. And all these configurations, not on style and the UI, UX of the form are done here, but also a few of your processes rules. So if you want to make sure that the person has to fill out a specific field on this stage and so on, you can do everything using the form, including, for example, you want to show some information, but they cannot change it. So you have like an initial value of the opportunity, and you estimate it's going to be 10,000. And you don't want them to change it over time because maybe their bonus is related to that and so on. So you can just change it not only visually as we are doing right now, and visually is really important because they are going to spend a lot of time filling out information here, but you can also add a few of your uh, process rules on the form. It's not on the camera, it's not on the table and so on, it's on the form because you can have multiple forms for multiple different places or buttons and so on inside your app.
Exactly. So I finished setting up the update form. I did this exactly the same settings that I did for the creation form, with the exception here that I have the tasks and the chat, because it makes sense to have this when I open an opportunity, right? So let's go back to the Kanban board, and you guys are going to notice that when I click here, it's already changed because I've changed the form of the table, and this Kanban board is pulling the same form that the table is using, right? So all I have to do here is click on an opportunity, and it's going to bring me exactly the same form, right? Cool. So here on the Kanban board, what I'm going to do is activate the building mode. I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to customize this app to disable scrolling, so I always have the same size of this page regardless of the size of the monitor. So, and I'm going to bring this Kanban board to use all of the available like screen space, right? Okay, so I'm going to save this, and I'm going to edit the Kanban board. And what I'm going to do here is add some fields to the cover, to the front part of the card. So I'm going to add an exist field here, and I'm going to add tasks, and I'm going to add the chat. Okay, cool. So I'm going to remove the status because it's just duplicate information, right? And I'm going to add the owners. And they're not appearing right now because no opportunity here has an owner. I'm going to,
And also
uh,
because your setting says that if there's no information, it's not going to show. Because
exactly.
you also have an option to just show it like empty field. But I don't really like this option. A few people like it, but I would prefer to just show when I have the information.
Exactly. So you can see here that I can toggle and see that if field is empty, I can show the name of the field. So we have some settings here. We can also change the size of the card. So it could be large, it could be small. I'm going to go with
I
small.
see that a lot of people like this small card, especially for things like a CRM, because you don't have you don't need a lot of information on the card. You probably need the value as you're showing, tasks, chat, and tasks and chat. There are special fields, so they don't occupy a lot of space. They all stay on the bottom. But sometimes people want to add too much information, and then it's almost as much information as the form when you open, so it doesn't really make sense and it occupies a lot of space on your screen. So I would have a maximum of 5 4 fields, um because otherwise it's just too tall each card.
Exactly. And just for a couple of settings more, we can disable the drag and drop. So a Cayman board traditionally, oh, I have to leave. You can drag and drop the card. You can disable drag and drop so people can only move the card by pressing a button, for example. We're going to leave everything as draggable. But what we're going to do here is disable creating a card directly to a stage. So we don't want people to create cards directly in one, for example. So I'm going to save. And what I'm going to do here is edit this title bar and edit this button for new opportunity. It's going to change the color. And just so you guys can see it, it's bringing that form that we just built before.
You can make
Uh,
the Kanban cards the same color as you did on the open record, and then the background another type of blue or something, just to show people that you can actually change a lot. Um
Cool, no
how
problem.
browsers work.
What I'm going to do here is let me change it to a different color here. Or it could be white. Doesn't have to be green. It could be like any color, right? So I'm going to go with, let me see here, maybe a light blue.
No, I would make it darker and the background lighter.
Cool. There you go. And I'm going to change this title bar to be the same here. So like this, right? And we can change the menu as well. We're already on it, so we've changed the appearance of the app itself, right? So one last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a filter, right? So it's a little bit easier to search for things. I'm going to call this filter. The name is not really that relevant. But then I can create the filters themselves. So I'm going to create a owner filter in which I'm basically going to select a user and see cards. That user is the owner. So I'm going to select user as the filter type. And when I select the user, I'm going to filter the Kanban board by the owner's field, right? And also what I can do is for temperature is the filter type. Because temperature is a field from the opportunities table, what I'm going to do is select here, select from field. And then I'm going to say, look at the opportunities table and get the options from temperature. And then when I select the temperature, filter the Kanban board by the temperature. We could do more filters. I'm not going to do it right now for time, but you have a lot of different opportunities here. So I'm going to create this filter. It's going to create down here, away from view. It doesn't matter because what I want to do is get this filter here up top on the title bar. So I'm going to edit the title bar and select the filter that I've just created. And it's going to pull this up top here. There you go. So I'm not going to use the filter right now because nothing here has temperature or an owner. I'm going to do this right now. So probability, owner, I'm going to select my user. And for temperature, I'm going to go with average and I'm going to click on save. And you guys can see that now I have the information from the owner right here. And if I select the filter, temperature, average, it's only going to bring me this opportunity because it's the only opportunity which is average. And the owner, I could use the same filter and it would work as well. Okay, so this is the Kanban board. I'm going to show you guys something. We have the chat, we have the tasks part, we have the SLA, like we said before. It's registering when a card is moved. So if I change this to proposal, you guys are going to see here that it changed the time tracking part of the card. But what I'm going to do here right now is go chat and I'm going to send a message here. On this to you right now. So I sent it from a message here. And also I'm going to send a task to myself attached to this opportunity. So I'm going to click on new task and draft proposal. Okay, so I can set a deadline, for example, 30 Okay, so I'm going to create this task, and now the task is assigned to this card and is assigned to me as well. I could send tasks to other people as well. We're probably going to have a live stream for tasks, but you guys can see that it's already reflecting on the tasks and chat field. So it's showing me that I have one task and no task is completed yet, and I have one message in the chat. So what I'm going to do is complete this task, and it's going to reflect here in a second. But you guys can see that it's also showing on the cover of the card on the Kanban board, right? So this is why I created the fields, because I wanted to have this information here. I wanted to have this summary of the tasks and the chat appearing right here on my screen. So I can just with a quick glance see if there are pending tasks on an opportunity, or see if there's a lot of conversation going on a specific record, right? So what I'm going to do is go to the dashboard, and I'm also going to customize it. So I'm going to use the same color here, and also I'm going to make it a white background. So there you go. And I can create some things to see here. So what I'm going to do is edit this information. So for open opportunities, yeah, okay, it makes sense to know the number of deals, right? But for the total sold, I want the value, I want the amount, right? So in cash. So instead of using the number of records, I'm going to use a sum of the amount field. Yeah, so there you go. And now I'm going to save. And I also forgot to say that we have a filter here. The AI did this filter. I didn't set this up, but I could change this filter if I wanted to. That I'm only seeing things that are sold, which means only things that are status is 1. Okay, so this is the total sold in my company. I'm going to change some cards, and it's going to reflect here. But I may also want to have the same information for open opportunities. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clone this component, just copy it, and now I can edit it. Cool. And I can change the filter. So instead of 1, is everything that is in new or proposal. So to save, and here you go. I have 57,000 as open opportunities, and I have a total sold of 35,000. And you guys can see here that I have the indicators. I could change the color, the size, the font, but it's just an example here. And I could add other types of components here. So if I click here on charts, I can create like amount per stage. So I can use different kinds of charts. I'm going to use the bar chart, and I'm going to pull information from the opportunities. The x-axis is going to be the horizontal part, right? So it's the status, which is what I did here. And the y-axis, which is the vertical part, is going to be amount. And I'm going to sum everything. And then I can select a different color here. So let's pick a different shade of blue here. There you go. And I can create it. And there you go. So I have this chart showing me how much I have per stage in 1, proposal, and so on. I could also have the numbers on the top part. so it's a little bit easier to see exactly the number. So there you go. I have per stage here. And I'm going to do the same thing of adding a filter, because in this case, I may want a filter for date, which means I'm going to select an interval of dates, a range of dates, and I'm going to filter these components here. So I can filter the open opportunities by the date when the opportunity was created. I can filter the total sold by creation date as well. And I can keep doing this for every component that I have on screen, and the chart as well. So I'm going to create this, and I could have this filter anywhere on my screen, but I'm also going to pull it to the title bar. I prefer it that way, to fix it on the upper part. So I'm going to select this filter. Now I have connection issues, I think, but it went okay. So you can see that I have this here. So I can select dates, and it's only going to bring me information from opportunities within that date. So I don't have anything in that range, but you guys can see that I can select the dates themselves here, and it's going to filter. And there you go. I can go back to the opportunities and see all the information. There's a lot of stuff that we could do here as well. We could have a different table for leads. Then you could select the leads to work on the CRM. We could have more fields. We could have conditional colors. We could have conditional fields that only appear on certain stages. But I think that for a first version of the CRM, this is already quite nice, right? We have the Kanban board with the stages that we wanted. We have the main information with the fields that we wanted, displaying them side by side whenever we wanted to. And we have tasks, chats, and SLA all within this panel, right? And we have this dashboard, which could also be improved. We could have other types of charts, other types of indicators. But the idea here is just to show you guys how you would start building this. I don't know, Bruno, if you have anything else that you wanted to show here.
Now, the idea here is to just create this first version of a CRM. I'm not really happy with the colors yet. I will change it, maybe change a little bit of disposition of the indicators, but that's something that we can do on another live section. And the main goal here is to show you that basically AI built most of the stuff, and after that we were just adjusting our business rules, a little bit of UI UX. As I said, we could do it a little bit different in terms of like colors and stuff, but the thing is you can choose how you want this to look like, and what are the rules of your CRM and so on. So the advantage here is that yeah, you have to build stuff, but at the same time you can customize for your company, for your products, for your services. So here we did a really simple version of a CRM, really basic, but we could do something that mixes services with product. We could do something that has like a table with with the sum of all the opportunities and so on. So we could build more data for our processes. We could add automations, and we could add more charts, add permissioning, so I can only see my own opportunity and not the opportunity of my colleagues, and so on. So the idea is just do a first live. After a while, we are going to come back next week with something that people really enjoy, which is the attachment vision field. We are going to show you how can you set up this field, and how does it work to read like an invoice or other any other kind of image, PDF, and so on. So that's our first live back. If you have any suggestions for the product, for lives, questions, we will also address this next week on our next live. Thank you.